You should want a leader who can tell the truth, even when it's not convenient.
It was the most memorable time of my life. It was a touching moment because I never thought this day would ever happen. I won't have to worry about putting gas in my car. I won't have to worry about paying my mortgage. You know, if I help him, he's going to help me.
I think we saw the best of the United States of America in the Speaker's office tonight. This country is able to come together and do things quickly when it needs to be done for the good of the American people. As we've said for some time, the root cause of the stress in the capital markets is the real estate correction and what's going on in terms of the price declines in real estate.
I turn on a TV, there's Paulson reassuring the American public that the underlying economy is sound. You know, it's like you go to your doctor and he tells you you're in excellent health, but I just want to perform open heart surgery just in case.
Hank Paulson has effectively hijacked the U.S. financial system. He's no different than the 9/11 hijackers as far as I'm concerned. He's a financial terrorist, and he's taken the U.S. banking system to the edge of the abyss, all for the benefit of the shareholders and his cronies at Goldman and J.P. Morgan. The U.S. taxpayer, the U.S. citizen, unfortunately, is going to get the short end of
So I can't imagine a secretary being worse than Paulson. You know, they might as well nominate my 6-year-old to be Treasury Secretary. You know, at least he would play with his toys instead of screwing up the economy. Oh.
Lady from Ohio, the only way they can pass this bill is by creating and sustaining a panic atmosphere. That atmosphere is not justified. Many of us were told in private conversations that if we voted against this bill on Monday, that the sky would fall, the market would drop 2,000 or 3,000 points the first day, another couple thousand the second day, and a few members were even told that there would be martial law in America if we voted no.
I am a chief financial officer for a veteran service organization, AMVETS here in Washington. I'm also a mother, I'm a wife, I'm an American veteran, and I'm one of your middle-class Americans. And quite frankly, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted of defending you, defending your administration, defending the mantle of change that I voted for, and deeply disappointed with where we are right now.
Welcome to Tent City, somewhere right by Southern California Sierras, on the wrong side of the tracks. Over the past few weeks, this makeshift town has become the face of America's troubles. Since then, their numbers have grown to nearly 400. The city of Ontario can no longer cope with the incessant arrivals of these people who all tell the same story, the story of their downfall.
Elizabeth is just one of a growing number of Americans who rely on food assistance at a time when Congress is on the brink of slashing the budget. A record number of Americans, about 14%, now rely on the government's food stamps program.
I have kids that are disabled, and I can't work right now, so it's really helping me. And that will cause, like, stress on some families. You never know what everybody's going through.
The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, runs on nearly $70 billion annually. President Obama wants to increase funding, but fiscal conservatives in Congress say the budget is ballooning and is cutting it back. Managing the nation's food stamp program is no small task. More than 44.5 million Americans bought their groceries at stores just like this one back in March. That's an 11% increase from the same time period last year and a 61% increase from the same time period 4 years ago. And those numbers are only expected to rise.
Forward that we put in a new system that will make sure that when a firm does not succeed in the marketplace, that it fails. That is absolutely critical, and I support that 100%. We tried to save Lehman Brothers. In the case of Bear Stearns and in the case of AIG, by using the Fed's lending authority and other devices, we jerry-rigged up a way of preventing the failure of those firms. The problem is, as I was discussing before, is that we don't have a system. We don't have a structure.
And who got the money? Hundreds and hundreds of banks. Any bank or that has access to the U.S. Federal Reserve's discount.
Tell us who they are.
No.
Do you think gold is money?
No.
To adapt, you got to say to the people, suck it in and cope, buddy. Suck it in and cope. Get the economy with enough misery, get enough disruption, destroy the currency. God knows what happens. So I think when you got troubles like that, you shouldn't be bitching about a little bailout.
So there's Charlie Munger. has been found by extension to be money laundering for Mexican drug cartels. That's his only source of income. He's the richest floor sweeper in America. He's Warren Buffett's special friend down there in Omaha, Nebraska. And he's lecturing folks on why, oh, they should suck it up and get a job. Hey, Charlie, I got news for you, buddy. Why don't you take that pipe out of your mouth and start working for a living yourself, you degenerate slob?
Well, of course, he also warned that if you don't help out bankers, we could have a situation like the 1930s and the rise of Hitler.
Yeah, right. Who supported Hitler in the 30s? IBM, Coca-Cola, J.P. Morgan, and the people like Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett. Get a real job, Charlie.
Right. If a private entrepreneur makes a mistake, he goes bankrupt. The losses are cut. If he bets wrong, he loses. If the government bets wrong, they just get bigger. They just appropriate more money. It's a bottomless pit because they either get it from the taxpayers or they run it off a printing press.
The auditing companies, the rating agencies, the Treasury Department, the Federal Reserve Bank, this is a criminal syndicate. This should be investigated under RICO. These guys are wholesale thieving of trillions of dollars. The rest of the world, unfortunately or fortunately, will wake up to the fact that they should probably get out of the U.S. dollar.
They're worried about people going to the bank and not having money there. What I'm worried about is people going to the bank, taking out their money, but they can't buy anything.
Sure, you can open an account at Goldman Sachs with your $100 retirement fund. Unfortunately, that $100 won't buy you won't buy you toilet paper. Toilet paper is going to be, you know, this is more valuable than the U.S. dollar in a few weeks' time. $100 a sheet. This is $100. I can make dollars right here all I want. Here's $1,000. Here's $5,000. Here's $1 million. It's all going at complete zero. It's like the Weimar Republic.
So I'm hoping we don't become Zimbabwe, but that's where we're headed. If you throw a ball up in the air in Zimbabwe, gravity is going to bring it back down, just the way it is here. And economics is a science. There are laws, and it doesn't matter where you apply them, you're going to get the same result. So if we follow their monetary policy, that's where we're going to...
But just look around this chamber this morning. Just look at these faces. Look at the fear. Look at the anger. Poor old Barroso here looks like he's seen a ghost. You know, they're beginning to understand that the game is up, and yet in their desperation to preserve their dream, they want to remove any remaining traces of democracy from the system.
This problem will continue for years. They will always show more debts. There's another 20 trillion of bad debts to go through. Every quarter. Do we have to go through this every quarter? Or they say, oh, we just found another trillion in debt, more austerity measures, more bonuses, more salaries. When are we going to get smart and wake up and figure out that these guys all need to be fired, tried, hung, burnt, and gotten the way out there? They're all freaking terrorists. What are you doing? What are you doing?
And it's pretty clear that none of you have learned anything. You know, when you yourself, Mr Van Rompuy, say that the euro has brought us stability, I suppose I could applaud you for having a sense of humour, but isn't this really just the bunker mentality? Just who the hell do you think you people are? You are very, very dangerous people indeed. But it's even more serious than economics, because if you rob people of their identity, if you rob them of their democracy, then all they are left with is nationalism and violence. I can only hope and pray that the Euro project is destroyed by the markets before that really happens.
That when people lose everything and they have nothing left to lose, they lose it.